Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the sound test room. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at Handy Harp. Okay, let's get a couple of things right now. Let's say what this is for and what it's not for. Okay, so this is not something you could record into one of your iPad, the AWs. It's not audio bus compatible, nor is it into app audio, and you can't record into it. However, what this is for is if you play the harp or are learning to play the harp or you're a professional harpist, this is an essential app to have. This is absolutely incredible. Now, I never knew anything about harps before I got this app. I liked the sound of harps, and always the sound was always kind of magical and fantasy orientated. You hear it in things, and I'd had used a couple of harp things on the keyboard before in different things, but this is fantastic. I went off and learnt about harp. Okay, learnt how they work and stuff, so I could explain this more. Okay, so first of all, you'll see that this is based on a grand harp, okay, or concert harp. And here we have the strings at the top here, which are color-coded, as in a real harp. Here we have the mechanism that adjusts the tuning of the strings. Now, on a real harp, I think this is a 47-string version. On a real harp, every single one of these strings would have these two-wheel mechanism for adjusting the pitch of each string, so you can set keys and play in different scales and stuff, and play chords as well. I'm going to explain how this works. So at the moment, the scale is A minor, and it's a pentatonic scale, and the chord is A minor. Sounds fab, doesn't it? Okay, and it has a mute as well, so if you were to hold onto the string sort of thing. Now, how this works, these pedals here, this is what if your feet would rest on whilst you were playing a grand harp. Okay, and it's very, very, very clever how this works, and phenomenally intricate, I would have thought, to build one of these things properly, considering they must be, I don't know how old they are. But anyway, when the pedal has each pedal has three positions. Okay, so in the middle position, each pedal has the natural note. Okay, so if I use my thing, represents the natural. Okay, so just there. So they're all set now, apart from that C, which is set on C flat. They're all set D natural, C natural. Okay, so right. If you move if you move the pedal up, it changes to B flat. Now, the harp, you can see we have these 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. These are octaves. Okay, and if I move on a real harp and on this, if I move that B there from its natural position to its flat position, every single B string in the harp will shift up will shift down to B flat, sorry. Okay, and vice versa, it works the other way. So B sharp, each string would shift to B sharp. And this is how it works. So over all your octaves now, this would be B sharp and the rest natural. Okay, now with this, also, we can view the pedals in different ways. So if you were a professional harp player or learning to play, you can see it says pedal design is real. So it's a graphical representation of how a real harp pedal system would look. But then you could go to score, and this is how it would look in score. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is how it would be displayed if you were playing from a piece of music, and it works exactly the same. If we can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but say the second one there, which is C natural. Okay, if we move it up there, it goes to C flat, and if we move it all down, it goes to C sharp. So it is really just a representation of the pedals, basically. So you can set them to different ways. Okay, so, and then the third one is paper. Now, I'm not sure, but they're like strips of paper that pull up and down out of a little thing. I'm sure probably somewhere that they use these. please don't people comment, because I'm no genius. Okay, I learned about this over the last couple of days, and the harp, like any instrument, is going to be super difficult to learn all about it. So I'm just trying my best here. Okay, so now here you can see what we have. Now the different coloured strings represent one octave. So for instance, see? But we can change this as well so we can get a clearer picture of how it is. So let's just go back to our real version. Oh, some different things as well. We have a master tuning, performance range. Performance range is good because it gives you the performance range on the iPad version, okay? So for instance, if we were to set this to, say, 4th, and then we'll go down to 2nd. In fact, actually, let's go to 3rd, okay? And we go back, we'll see we only have 2 octaves worth. And maybe we can see the colours a little bit better. And then how the wheels will work the same. But they will still alter the whole harp in theory, but you will only be able to play the section you've selected. Okay, so let's see. Let's just see. Now you can see some of these are adjusting. Now, the clever thing about a harp is if you wanted to play an A minor, it would be very difficult to strum across all the strings if they're all playing. If they're all playing, some of them are playing B, it's going to sound terrible. Okay, so what happens here? This is why we have the pedal selected. If we push a B to C sharp, we all know that C sharp. Actually, we all know that B is. There we go. Our B is now a C, so it won't matter. It will still sound in tune. Okay. Now something else as well. If we go to chord, we can select any chord in any key. So we don't have to program the pedals to do this. But if you were learning to play the harp or wanting to learn how to play the harp, this would be a fantastic way to learn how the pedals set for certain chords. So if we, for instance, if we picked, let's pick a complicated one, say something like C7 with a flatted 13th. Let's pick OK. There is the pedal representation for that particular chord. Okay, so you can see you can get like all the chords. Okay, so what else this is brilliant for as well? If you're a composer, if you score film music, or you just write music for yourself, orchestral style music, or you maybe wanted to put a harp in. This is a great way to work out how you want your harp to sound, different ways that you want your harp to play, and if you've got like a DAW, this will transmit MIDI information via Wi-Fi to your favorite DAW on your Mac or PC. Okay, it ain't going to be the sound, but it's going to be the MIDI notes, the representation, so you can get an idea. So later on, if you were lucky enough to have access to a real harp or an orchestra or something, you'd know exactly how your piece was going to work with the harp. Okay, and something else as well. I've got my little Korg microstation hooked up to play some classical music sort of thing when I hit a key in one of the combination settings. So I'm going to just pick I'll pick A minor again. So we'll pick A minor, click OK, and here we have an A minor. And what we'll do is we'll go into settings and we're going to make our range, our performance range, bigger. Okay. Oh yeah, can't go any further because that, yeah, right. So sorry, I went the wrong way. So we're going to make our performance range bigger. Let's go back to our harp. Sorry. Okay, so now, say for instance you wanted to compose some music, so you were composing, and when you come, so I think I'd like some harp in there. You know, say it was a piece of a fantasy epic or something, or something angelic. It's strange that angels are associated with the harps, but there you go. Anyway, so if I hit this A minor on the little microstation, let's just latch the arpeggiators in. Now that's an A minor that's playing. So I was playing different chords that would fit in with the scale of A minor, obviously. So the harp was set on A minor. The chords I played were A minor, C, and an F, and then I'm back to an A minor. So you can see how different it makes the harp sound, even just playing the same thing. It sounds great, doesn't it? It fits in. So you could do some really weird stuff. You know, you could practice with chords that were like really bizarre. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of other things as well here. You can you can customize your own chords, a user, and you can also select, you can edit the name of your data pedal as well. So you could change different things. All right, in settings, there's 3 models, 47 strings model 2, 46 string model, and the one we've just been playing with, which is the 47 strings model 1. We can set our D tuning and C tuning here. See, natural, sharp or flat. We can have a regular tuning where we can choose what we want there. You've seen the harp design, and then there's the ruler type. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure 100% what these different things do because it's too complex to go into in 10 or 15 minutes, you know. I just wanted to give you a good idea of what this app is for and what it's possible to do with it. And you learn so much about the harp, you know. It's a phenomenal instrument. I really enjoyed just learning about the harp. I went to YouTube, watched some great videos on real harps and stuff, how they're constructed, how they make sound. A bit like a guitar, it's an acoustic instrument. The strings are anchored at the bottom into the the part that goes up like that. If you better see it, this part in the real one, the part that goes up like that is anchored into this, which is the soundboard. So that's quite wide and has holes in the bottom as well. And it goes to the top where it passes through all these wheels. How these wheels work, you can see they shift the pitch. And then at the back of the harp, behind these wheels, on the top section, the tuning pegs. So each tune. Now the strings, like I said, the strings on a real harp are color coded as well, so you can quickly select the octaves and stuff. Now, scales. We can program this to do scales in any key. So we have all these different scales here. I'm not sure if you can see them. I hope you can. So let's just go, for instance, with Japanese scales, which are lovely. We can try blue scale. Or a raga scale. And then of course we can mess around with the pedals if we wanted to. And then we could save that if we want to do as a user scale once we put our information in. Down here just shows you what octave you'll want to work in particular. Phenomenal. It is a great program. Seriously, if I was a harpist, I would find this really useful. I'm sure professionals and amateurs alike would also find it an invaluable aid for sure in setting up the pedals, which are a complicated business. I mean, these guys, you've got to realize, you know, they're manipulating these pedals all the time. If in the music where it changes, you know, and some of the demos of people actually playing one on YouTube are absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's it. Handy Harp, and there's a manual as well, and it credits everybody who was involved in it there. So it's Procyon Studio, and this explains a little bit as well how it works. So it has a really detailed manual with it as well, and that's great. And like I said, you know, you could, if you've got the ability to record I mean, most people have, you know. I know we use a lot on the iPad now with Audio Bus and the like and things, but before that, we were recording into our into our DAWs. So if you look at the iPad as just another musical instrument plugged into an audio input, if you have that, you can still get the sounds from this into your DAW, and this will take you to their website, which I'll just hit there. It's in Japanese when you initially go there, but you can change it into English. So there you go, guys. That was Handy Harp. Phenomenal, and a really enjoyable experience learning all about harps. Okay, I'll see you later.